Not to toot my own horn, but looks good, right?
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
Hello, welcome to episode 2 of the bus conversion. Where is the 2? There it is. Today we're talking all things subfloor. I've broken this video down into 5 easy steps. Moisture barrier, the framing of the floor, insulation, as well as the sound deadening, and the install of the subfloor itself. But first, I think we better prep and clean this entire floor. Let's go. To start the prep on the bus, I began by sealing all of the bolt holes from below, and then I came to the top of the bus, caulked around the entire perimeter of the bus, and sealed all of those holes and the wheelchair buckles or snaps, whatever you want to call them. Using a mold and mildew resistant paint, I painted this on the entire surface of the existing floor. Another beautiful day in the bus build. As you can see, we did a lot of work lately. All of the roof is now completely down, and the entire floor is fully coated with a waterproof paint. Today we're gonna start with the subfloor. Now, I definitely made sure to measure twice because nothing in a bus is square, and I learned that really quick. I then brought them into the bus, installed them directly to the floor. Now, these beams are what determine the width of the insulation. So I went with a standard foot measurement as my insulation was 24 inches wide. Once all of the horizontal pieces were installed into the bus, I then went back in with the vertical beams. These vertical beams are super important as they're what we're going to use to actually anchor the subfloor down. Ta-da! I used a spray foam to make sure that all of the gaps were well insulated. I also went around and insulated all of those wheelchair supports. I did this just because I wanted to make sure that nowhere on the floor was left uninsulated. After the spray foam insulation is set and ready to go, I went along and cut all of my board insulation. And this is what is going to cover the majority of the actual floor. Gloomy day for the bus conversion, but today we are going to be focusing on the walls. We're going to start preparing the walls for the sound deadening. The sound deadening panels are fairly simple to install. We're going to start by peeling the backing off of the panel, then roll with a lot of force, and there you go, sound deadening. Okay, so the first step to laying down the subfloor, since the middle is going to be completely open, I don't want to have any seams. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure and center each piece of plywood. After you cut the plywood, I'm just going to bring it into the bus, and this is that point where we're actually going to use wood screws and a drill. We're going to anchor the subfloor into those pieces we framed earlier. Cut, repeat, cut, repeat, cut, repeat, and finally, you'll have yourself a subfloor. I am so happy to tell you that the subfloor is officially down. It has been put off for far too long, and I have really been procrastinating with this one. Not to toot my own horn, but looks good, right? That's a wrap. We now have a structurally sound subfloor. Thank you so much for sticking around for this week's episode of The Conversion. I'm excited to see you next week. And until then, leave a comment below telling me your favorite time of day. That's a good one. See you next week.
Huh?